What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel. And this is not the Super Fantasy Bros that you're used to if you're talking about football. We are going to be doing a little basketball show tonight. And I brought my good friend Jacob Dunn on from Ain't Done Yet. I wish I could speak. And we are going to be going over a little mock draft action because we actually have fantasy basketball's coming up. The season start. I'm excited for basketball. So, and if you guys didn't know, Jacob is big in basketball. I've just got to kind of delve my way into basketball, but I do love it. I'm a basketball guy, but I never played fantasy before last year. So I figured I'd bring an expert on and we could draft together. So Jacob, how you doing?
I'm doing so well, my man. I can't wait for basketball. It's less than a week away. Yeah, man. Like I said, I love basketball. I have been writing for RotoWire's fantasy basketball for 2 years now, and I've been playing fantasy basketball for over 10 plus years. I love it.
See, Jacob. See, that's why we bring Jacob on because he's been playing for a lot longer than I have, and just in general, just like, and I love it too. I do think when we talk about why it's not as popular, it's harder, right? It's
Yep.
more labor inducive. I like Sleeper, so there's different platforms you can do. I will be honest, like we're gonna mock on Sleeper today. I like Sleeper. Sleeper's a little different. It's actually where it's a points league, but you pick games. So you only have to pick one game a week, and that's the game you get. And even though it kind of sucks when you pick your player and he gets like two, and you're like, why'd I pick that game? It's definitely less labor intensive. So that's the one reason why I do like Sleeper. What do you usually play on, and what kind of leagues can we kind of get into?
So I usually play on Yahoo just because
Okay.
I like that labor intensive long season where you have to
Okay.
keep up with it every day. Like if fantasy football is checkers and fantasy basketball is chess, where you have to keep up with it almost daily, just like in fantasy baseball. But I enjoy fantasy basketball so much better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think so. There, it's good though. I would say Sleeper's a good one to get your feet wet a little
Yeah.
bit. That's what I kind of did, I'm jumping in a big boy league on Sunday. We have a draft, and I've
Okay.
never done auction before, and I'm jumping to auction, so that should be interesting. But
Ooh.
we're gonna do it just snake here. But before we do that, how is it broken down? So is it I know we talked before the show. It can be cats or points. Which one do you prefer? And can you just kind of give us an overview of it?
So 9 cat is definitely for the seasoned veterans, for the experts out there. Like you have to control every single stat. Like I need person who can steal, who can block, who keeps the turnovers low, who keeps the free throw percentage high and the field goal percentage high. Like you need to account for all those things. Now
Yeah.
for those who just want to take it easy, you go with the points. It's just like in fantasy football, where you just accumulate all your points throughout the week. Where blocks are worth 3 points, steals are worth 3 points, points are worth 1 point, of course,
Yeah.
and rebounds are worth 1.2. Like each league is different too. Like some leagues ding you for -1 for missing a free throw, and like there are ways to extend it. Like triple doubles are worth like 30 points, double doubles are worth 20. Like
Yeah.
you can go crazy. I keep it down to the bare minimum, where it's like 6 different categories with points, rebounds, blocks, steals, turnovers are -1. That's what I do.
Yeah, and I think it just depends on your league and what you guys decide. I will say it's critical that you all like come up with a consensus before, like, and you work together because that's what we did in our
Yeah.
dynasty league that I started in. Said, hey, this is what we're gonna do. It's 3 points for three, and
Mm.
also we do get a triple double bonus. And so, but we all knew ahead of time before the draft. We said, okay,
Yeah.
here's what it was. Just like in football, it's the same thing. But I will say having people engaged the whole year for basketball can be tough, and so you really
Right.
got to find those guys that you really want to do it with. But let's jump into the draft. So we are definitely going to do this. We're going to go over and kind of talk to you and talk strategy a little bit. That's definitely something that we definitely want to do is talk strategy with you guys so that you guys know and just kind of go over it and go through there. So I made Jacob have the first pick because I actually think this is an interesting pick, and
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fun. And this is going to be based on points. So
Yeah.
like we were talking about, a little easier for everybody, first timers out there. I'm going to take the 9th pick just because I said, what the hell? This is a 12 team. Snake draft, very simple. So I'm going to start the draft, but I changed it to where you get an hour, but we won't take an hour. But what do you think here, Jacob? Where you're going to be?
So for me, with the first pick, it is extremely close between Giannis and Jokic. All right.
Okay.
The Joker or the Greek, like the Greek Freak. It is extremely close. In a cat, it's not so close. I would take Jokic in a heartbeat because he hasn't missed a game since 2017, guys. For 4 years, he hasn't missed a game. He is an Iron Man, and he always produces every single night. So I would definitely go for Jokic. Now, in a points league, Giannis, I think he missed about 10 games last year. Like he's not so much of an Iron Man lately, but when he's on the floor, oh my gosh, he has the upside to score 80 to 100 points every single game, no matter what kind of format you are in. He has the most upside out of anyone, which is why I am taking Giannis hands down with my first pick.
Okay, interesting. I've always been told that Jokic is the first pick, but that's why I wanted to see what you kind of talked about, and you said there. So after Giannis, it went Doncic, and do you agree with Doncic over Jokic there?
So it's definitely down to those three. It's like those
Okay.
are the big three. It's just that Doncic, to me, I mean, I would much rather have Jokic and Giannis. It's pretty much like who do you prefer at that spot? I don't blame him for taking Doncic at 2, but it's definitely Jokic for me at 2.
So you feel like there's a tier break after the top three, and then you're really kind of splitting hairs there?
There is, because there's just a lot of like differing opinions. It definitely matters your scoring format in your league. Like here, like Curry went, and then Anthony Davis went, which I have Anthony Davis down in like my upper 20s in my rankings, just because Russell's there. He's going to take a lot of usage away. LeBron, he already takes a lot of usage away. And I don't trust Anthony Davis to stay healthy. I don't think he's ever stayed healthy a full season in his career. So I'm not taking that risk with my 5th pick. There's a lot of parity, like Curry went, and then Anthony Davis, James Harden, that's a good pick. LeBron James, that's a little bit early for me. I would take him somewhere early second round. And then Karl Anthony Towns, which I love that pick right before you.
I love Towns too, but I have Towns on my dynasty league. He's always hurt, Jacob. I feel like he puts it together though. Like he was killing it. He was averaging I think 40 points in my basketball league last year. And when he was healthy, he was awesome. Everybody in the league joked about it because I had him and Shai and all these different guys. And it's just like, gosh, I was frustrated because I was getting hurt everywhere. CJ McCollum, I had all these guys. Yeah. And I feel like Towns, he's got to be the pick there. I would take Towns before Anthony Davis, though, right? That's a no-brainer.
100%. Yeah. And what's funny is that Towns used to be an Iron Man. He used to show up to every single game, all 82 games through in the first 2 years of his career. It's like he is a bona fide number 1 or number 2 pick. And then all of a sudden, two years in a row, I felt like the Timberwolves were kind of tanking. There was something weird going on with Towns. I know that his mom died as well last season. So he was kind of missing a lot of games for that. Now, I don't think there will be those sort of variables this season, which gives Towns a very high ceiling with Anthony Edwards on his team as well. So I like Towns actually with either the 4th or 5th pick.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree. I think if you can get him at the 8th pick, I was hoping he'd fall to me. This puts me in a weird spot because I like building around Towns, and I've never really done one of these. So again, if you've never done this before, you're just like me, novice right here. I mean, I've done it, but it's been a while, and I'm with the experts. So we're gonna see how Jacob feels about my draft at the end of this. So on the board, you got Lillard, Tatum, Durant, Young, Embiid, Bradley Beal is there, Devin Booker, Bam, Donovan Mitchell, all of that. So I'm going to go a little different on this one. I'm thinking Kevin Durant is a good pick, to be honest. I like Kevin Durant, and I like how he got his minutes played. I like Harden and all that. Kyrie, who knows what's going on with Kyrie? I don't know if Kyrie's going to play this year. So that is, again, you have that usage there. And even though I said all that, I'm going to take Bradley Beal. So I'm going to go with Beal because I think he's going to score. And I love him on that team, and I think he's going to get a massive usage rate. And I just think what he's going to average, I mean, he could easily average, 35, 34 points. I know Durant is 37-5, but injuries, he's getting older. He has missed games. Like, to me, I think Beal is the safer play just because I think he's going to be there. What do you think about that pick? Am I an idiot?
Yeah. No. In the first round, you want to eliminate all risk. And KD, he is older. He is coming off an Achilles tear two years ago. So I don't think he's going to play on those back-to-back games, and that definitely hurts you. I would think about taking KD in the middle of the second, but I know he's not going to drop that far. So, I would let someone else draft him. Now, you just drafted Bradley Beal, and Russell's gone. So there is so much more usage to go around in Washington, and Beal is the leader. And I love all these players on Washington's team. Like there's a lot of sleepers like Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie. Like I love those guys as like your mid-round sleeper picks. So grabbing Beal there is probably the safest pick that you can make other than Damian Lillard, who I probably would have chosen over Beal, but Beal has a lot more upside given that Russell's gone. So I like that pick, Kevin.
All right, see, I kind of know what I'm doing out here, guys. See, and then like so Lillard went right away. Probably would have been Lillard too, but like I said, I mean, he doesn't have to deal with. I mean, he's going to deal with McCollum.
Sure.
Who knows what was going to happen with Lillard this season? Nurkic, if he can stay healthy, he's a legitimate player. I love Nurkic. You have Durant, Tatum went next, Booker, Embiid, and Young. And I thought about Trae Young. And how would you value point guards in these type of formats? Are you like? I always question that. I'm gonna just throw questions at you because I have no idea. So like when you look at point guards, like are you really like you have to get one of those guys because there's a tier break with point guards? I know that.
There is a great argument to be had to take those elite point guards early. It's just that for me, when I go into a draft, I want to draft the elite big men because those blocks are extremely valuable, and not many people block who can also score, and give you a bunch of rebounds. That's why I took Giannis. I mean, he can do it all.
Everything.
Whereas Jokic, he doesn't block as much. Like he'll probably average somewhere between 0.5 to 0.7 blocks a game, whereas Giannis will give you 1.3 per game. Like I always try to target those elite big men unless value dictates that I take Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal in like the mid to late first round. Like it's all about value for sure. But I always have the mindset of my first 2 to 3 picks that I'm going to take elite big men.
Okay, so you and me are going to be completely opposite. This is good. This is just like our football show. I like this. I like it. But when you're looking at like Embiid, I like. But gosh, health, right? Like
health.
It's just I think Embiid was playing at MVP caliber level, just like Jokic. Yeah. But it's that health. I think you're concerned there. I don't know what's going on with Simmons, if he's coming back or not. And you look at kind of what's going on there. Now, for my pick here, a lot of guys on the board still. Bam is still out there, a guy that I like. Obviously, 19-9 last year. Donovan Mitchell there, Jimmy Butler. I always mess up Nikola V. Vujacic. I always mess that one up. Paul George. Yeah, see, this is the joke on our basketball shows that I can't pronounce. I can't pronounce basketball players' names. Then Shay's there doing all those things. I'm gonna go with Paul George. So I'm taking Paul George because on sleeper, shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. So you got to really look at use Fantasy Pros. They have a really good system. It shows you what everybody's listed at positional. Like I think ESPN is the most strict. I think Yahoo's a little less strict on this, and in sleeper they really let you move around and be there. I'm going to take George with Kawhi being out. He's going to be the vocal point, and he can play power forward technically on sleeper. So give me that positional advantage there, and I'm going to take Paul.
That is 100% the pick. It was between George and Bam, but I like that pick a lot. Just like you said, Kevin, with Leonard out, it's Paul George's team, and Paul George can rack up those stats when it's just him. So I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, no, he's good. And then, Mitchell, Nikolai, Shai goes there. Leonard, and again, I don't know if that would happen just because of his injury where he's coming. Levine in the second round seems like that's an interesting pick. And then Russell Westbrook in the end of the second too. So you got a lot of options on the board here to go double tap. What are you thinking?
So this is also a no-brainer for me. I love my big men. I have Giannis as Rudy. My first pick. I'm going with Domantas Sabonis here.
Sabonis.
He is underrated every single year, especially in points leagues. I mean, he is an incredible scorer, rebounder, and passer. I mean, he quietly put up 6.7 assists last year, and he averaged a double-double, 20.3 points and 12 rebounds per game last year. This dude can just flat out balls. All right. Like, and he also made a second straight All-Star appearance. He's only 25 years old. He still has a ceiling, and he's on a Indiana Pacers team that needs him to score, that needs him to ball out every night. And I think that he will. So I'm definitely going Sabonis here. And now it gets a little tricky. Like I'm thinking, do I go with Jimmy Butler? Do I go with Brandon Ingram or Zion Williamson or DeAndre Ayton. Like,
Yeah.
I'm targeting those big men, but also Jimmy Butler. He gets a ton of usage in Miami. Kyle Lowry just went there over the offseason. I don't think that Butler will be needed as much, but he will be like that solid, I'm going to get you 30 to 40 points a night, like type of player. But I'm going with the upside here, and I'm going to go with Zion Williamson just because I want, he's 21 years old. He is the focal point on that New Orleans team, and I think that sky's the limit for him too. I know that people worry about his weight. All right. He's 285 pounds at 6'6". All right. Like one day his knees will give out. I think he has a good 3 years left until that happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully he slims down before that happens, and he can extend his career. But for now, I'm taking Zion with that unlimited potential. So, I'm starting
Yeah.
out my team like I like this start. I got Giannis, Sabonis, and Zion. So I really like that start, Kevin.
Ooh, yeah, I just got sniped too. Yeah, so when you look at Zion there, I like that. Butler, I like him. Aiton is an interesting pick too. He's a
Yeah,
double machine. Aiton
right.
can he gets those double doubles there. Kyrie went next. Are you touching Kyrie this year?
Stay far away from Kyrie. I just
Yeah.
wrote a blurb on a Fantasy Pros article recently, and I said you couldn't pay me enough money to draft Kyrie Irving. There's no way I'm wasting a roster spot on him. And even recently, there have just been reports of Kyrie saying, like, I know the consequences of my actions. Like he's he doesn't. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know where his heart's at. But I can tell you, I can tell you one thing for damn sure is that he's not going to be on any of my teams. All right, so
No.
let someone else draft Kyrie and deal with that headache all season, and just stay sane, guys, and don't draft Kyrie.
No, I agree. Can I give you my sleeper this year? Can I give you that
Oh,
real
please
quick?
do. Yeah, let's hear it.
I think Porzingis is a sleeper, Jacob.
Kristaps, huh? Okay,
I think he could have a bounce back year as that power forward big guy, shoots threes. He's pretty versatile.
sure.
And if he can have that bounce back year, I think he's a steal. And he went at 306. I was hoping he was going to fall to me. But I like that pick. I like Porzingis.
Yeah, he's the unicorn for a reason. It's just that he can't stay healthy, or like he was out 2 years ago, and they were like they put the kid gloves on him last
Yeah.
year. So hopefully they just unleash him this year. I know that the Mavericks were kind of desperate to trade him away. I'm not sure why, because he is such a talent. I don't know if he doesn't mesh well with Doncic. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but when he plays, like you said, he is a threat to make multiple threes and multiple blocks. I mean, that is extremely rare. And in a 9-cat league, you want to target him in the 3rd or 4th round because he could be a steal, like you said, Kevin. So in points, I don't really go after him just because he's not going to, I don't know if he will play every single night. But if he does, then watch out.
Yeah, no, I like him. I like him there. Ben Simmons at the 308. That seems like a little bit of a reach right now based on what's going on. But hey, I understand that. Now, so I'm looking at my team. I got Beal and George. I really should go up big, but I'm not smart. So I got Brandon Ingram out here. John Morant's on the board. Middleton is there. Middleton is a sneaky play, especially with his field goal percentage and what he's able to do each year. Siakam I'm out on because he's hurt. Yeah.
Right.
Chris Paul is there. I like Paul, Drummond, Fox, all these guys. And so when you're looking at the board, to me, and Brandon Ingram is there. And I do think that, if I didn't go Paul George and I went Bam and I had Brandon Ingram on the back end, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't hate that. I'm a Brandon Ingram guy. He just doesn't shoot enough threes for me, I feel like, and especially depending on the leagues that you're in. But so for me, when I'm looking at the board, I'm gonna take a risk here. I'm gonna hope that this other guy falls back to me. But I'm taking Ja as my point guard.
I like that. I like that pick, man. Ja's the real deal, and he was dealing with an injury last year, but he was 100%. He's 22 years old. Man, I love Ja. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I love Ja too. And I think that he could be there. And, it's always this. We had this big argument on the pod in basketball. Who would you want more, Morant or Fox? And I'm a Fox guy because I'm a Kings fan, so
Sure.
I'm kind of there. But as far as fantasy goes, I think Ja is that guy, right? Because the Kings
Yeah.
use Buddy Hield, all those different groups, a lot differently. So I think Ja is more of an asset on that one.
Ja's my pick too. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Brandon Ingram next, Paul, Middleton, Drummond, Siakam went. I don't think he would go there. He's a little injured right now. But to me, it comes down to John Collins or Julius Randle for me,
Okay.
especially with what's on the board. And you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a risk because he didn't have a great playoffs, but he did, as we saw in the last year, 25, 10, and 5. I'm taking Julius Randle.
That's the pick. That is the right pick, in my opinion. That's a great pick.
That's what I was hoping to fall to me, and that's kind of where I was at. And if I can fill it around Beal, George, Morant, and Randall, I like this team. After that, it went Collins, Porter. What's your opinion on Michael Porter? You like Michael Porter?
In points leagues, he's fine. In 9 category leagues, he's kind of just like a 3-trick pony. It's just it's just points and then and 3-pointers and field goal percentage. And he does get some rebounds. So he's like a 4-trick pony. So he's fine. But there's a lot of people who are obsessed with him, and I will most likely not be rostering him anywhere because he'll just be going too high for my liking.
Okay.
You?
All right.
You?
Yeah. Then I like Porter, but yeah, I like him as a basketball player. I don't like him as a fantasy. I think he's a
Same.
reach, right? I think people reaching for him based on name. We
Yeah.
see that all the time in other sports. Jackson went next, McCollum, Van Fleet, who people love Van Fleet, and then Kyle Lowry right after him, his former teammate, and then Drew Holiday. So, all right, let's go down to you. So you picked Giannis, Sabonis, and Williamson, and now you probably need a guard maybe or a forward.
Yeah, I love my core so far. So yeah, so now I will be looking for, a guard or a forward or a center, and I'm looking at the best players available. There's Clint Capella. He is great for points leagues because he gets a ton of blocks, a ton of rebounds. That's great.
Yeah.
It's just that he's still dealing with an Achilles injury that he was dealing with all last year, and it was such a headache last year. So I think I'm going, since I already have 3 great big men, I'm going to go down the list. DeRozan is a solid player who is going to just be that solid dude who gives me that 20 to 30 points a night, and that's reliable. And then Miles Turner is a blocking machine, but we just don't know if he's going to be healthy to start the season. So, in the 4th round, I want to eliminate some risk. And then I see Christian Wood, and I love Christian Wood.
Yeah.
First of all, he is the alma mater in the city that I grew up with, UNLV. I guess he's not really an alma mater because he was like a one and done. But and I love his story. He bounced around from like team to team. I think he was on 5 different teams in like 2 years. He just couldn't latch on, and he finally went off for the Pelicans. And now he's on a Rockets team that needs production. So Christian Wood, if he can stay healthy, he's going to ball out this year, and he is a fantastic points target, especially in the 4th round. So I know I already have all these big men, but I just can't pass him up. I love Christian Wood, so I'm going to draft Christian Wood. And then this is an easy smash for me too. Again, okay. So I see Tobias Harris, extremely consistent, and then I see down the line there's Malcolm Brogdon and DeJounte Murray. I really like DeJounte Murray. And since I don't have a guard, I'm going to pass up on Tobias Harris, and I'm going to go get myself DeJounte Murray. I think that he has upside for days. He's in a Popovich system that he's going to be the focal point now that DeMar DeRozan is out. So I'm going to go with DeJounte Murray, and I'm going to predict a breakout season for him. So I really like it. Thank you.
And you gotta reach a little bit if you're on the other end because you don't know what's coming back.
Right, exactly. And then go ahead.
Well, no, then we got Miles Turner, Russell, Valanciunas, Capella winning the 5th round, which I think is pretty good value for Capella. I like him, right? Yeah. Like you liked him at that point. DeRozan, I don't know what to do with DeRozan. Again, not 3-point shooter. He's going to score though. He's going to be pretty efficient.
Right. Yeah. He's just extremely consistent. Now he is on a Bulls team that has been revamped. So I don't know how much usage that he's going to get, but I predict that he's still going to average somewhere between 20 to 40 points each game. Like he's just going to be that consistent dude who's never going to tank for you. So that's just like a Mr. Consistent guy. And in the 5th round, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, when I'm up here, so I have Beal, George, Morant, Randall, and I'm going to take Tobias Harris. So you are thinking
Love
about
it.
taking him in the
Love it.
5-1. I got
Yep.
to give him that versatile small forward / power forward guy that can kind of come in here and help with my depth. I'm going to take him off the board.
Yep.
I
That's a good
thought
pick.
about Nurkic, who went
Mhm.
next, but I think Tobias has more upside and it'll safer play.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And then Nurkic went, and then Brogdon, which is a fantastic pick in the late fifth round. He has a bunch of upside. He balled out last year. And then Buddy Hield, Colin Sexton is a fantastic pick. He is one of my sleeper breakout candidates this year too. I think he goes crazy on a Cavs team that needs scoring. And in a points league, Sexton is a fantastic target. In a 9 category league, not so much. He's just basically a scorer who gets
Yeah.
some assists. And then Marcus Smart, which he just got into trouble. I'm not really sure what he did. I don't know. Did you hear about that, Kevin?
I did not, but that doesn't surprise me. Marcus Smart got in trouble. Like he's a
A
weird
breach or
player,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't he he's probably a category guy, right? Like he could because he
Yeah.
fills it up everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly. He's more of a category guy, but also his field goal percentage stinks. So I
Yes.
don't really want him anywhere, truth be told. So I'll let someone else grab him.
Yeah, and then Draymond, right? Draymond came in there. He's
Yep.
always kind of there. I feel like I need to probably, I look at the center position. Harold's there. Jared Allen. I think I've been on record. I call Jared Allen the most overrated player in the NBA. But Jared Allen
Really?
is there. Rashawn Holmes is there. I don't know
Okay.
the Rashawn Holmes love. I'm not 100% as a Kings fan. I don't know what people see in Rashawn Holmes. I mean, I
He's
guess he'll
just
get the usage.
consistent.
Yeah.
He's consistent. He's starting. He's getting minutes. And in a points league, you just want someone who's starting and getting a bunch of minutes because that's just going to translate into fantasy points, right?
Yeah. And so now I feel like these guards, like I really want to go guard here. But when I'm looking here and you're looking at kind of like who is out there for at that position,
Uh,
Andrew Wiggins with Clay coming back, Steph being there, will Andrew Wiggins kind of get eaten into a little bit?
yeah.
Lonzo, I love Lonzo, but is he going to score really enough for you? I mean, I know he had some points last year. But that Bulls team, what is that Bulls team going to look like? Levine's not
Right.
just going to give up shots. So let's be honest. We know
Right.
Levine. Levine's ain't going to be like, oh yeah, Lonzo, here you go.
Sure. Yeah.
Hero, Devontae Graham's there, Terry Rozier, Chris LeVert, Tim Hardaway. Am I crazy for thinking Devontae Graham should be the pick here? Or
Is he
is that a
starting?
reach? Is that a reach?
That's the only thing that I wonder. If he's starting, he's going to score in bunches. I know that even if he is the 6th man, he will as well. In a
Yeah.
points league, I think he'll get somewhere between like 5 and 6 assists, and then just low everything else. So I don't know. I would let someone else draft him unless he comes back to the second round. Which I don't know, man. That's your pick. I mean, I wouldn't personally. I see like a few other guys that I might target before him, like like a Terry Rozier of the Hornets. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
he'll be a
fair.
lot more consistent. He is the starting point guard right next to LaMelo Ball. I think that's a recipe for success.
Yeah, I mean when I was looking at the guards. Like, hey, I liked Terry Rozier, right? Like Scary Terry, and
Yeah.
basically in that, I don't think I want the first three. Kelly Oubre doesn't give me anything there. Tyler
No.
Hero doesn't give me the. I really think
Okay.
it's between Devontae and Terry Rozier. Like when I was looking at the position, I like LeVert, but he's injured again, right? So
Right. Right.
I don't know what's going on there. I'll probably pick Scary Terry with an assist from you.
There you go.
I do like Devontae though, but like you said, the starting thing does worry me. You got to make sure these guys are out there, and that's the key.
Exactly. Exactly. And Rozier just gets a bunch of usage. And in a
Yeah,
points league, you want those guys getting a lot of usage, which is probably why
yeah.
Zach LaVine went in the second round, right? He's the usage king. Even if he's inefficient as hell, he's gonna get all the usage in the world.
He's gonna get it, and that just is what it is, right? Inefficiency doesn't really matter in this format. It is
Right.
what it is. Just who gets the points. All right.
Exactly.
Well, now I did pick Rozier. Would you think about Lamelo at all?
I would. I actually think that he's going to break out as well.
I did too.
See, what's funny is that I mentioned him who is playing next to Terry, but I
Yeah,
figured that he was already off the board here. Ball,
yeah.
Ball was just off the board. So uh, I will happily take LaMelo Ball here, especially since I do need another guard. So I'm going to take LaMelo Ball. And then I see another young gun here that's still available. Two young guns. All right. All right, guys. It is. Okay. So I need your advice on this, Kevin. Okay. Should I go Cade Cunningham, rookie? All right. For the Pistons, or should I go Anthony Edwards, who is the usage inefficient king in Minnesota?
Yeah. I would probably lean Cade, right? Because of what's going to
Yeah.
happen on that roster. I like Edwards, I really do. But with everybody coming back healthy for Minnesota, is Edwards going to be able to do what he did last year? We saw what was happening when Edwards
Right.
first started. So if everybody's
Oh.
coming back healthy on that team, if Cat's back, obviously Russell back, if those guys are back, will he get that same usage that you see? Cade could realistically be the guy, right? Like
Right.
in Detroit is bad.
Right.
Like, let's all be
Exactly.
honest with each other out there. So I think I would
Yes.
lean Cade just because I think that that's the worst team, but he's going to get more run.
Yes. I was just going to say, you always want that star on a terrible team because he's just going to get the ball every single play, right? So, yeah, I'm going to take your advice there and go with Cade Cunningham and see who goes after me. Gordon Hayward, Aaron Gordon, Devontae Graham, Wendell Carter, Montrezl Harrell, who could actually put up some sneaky stats on the Washington Wizards who need that big man. Jared Allen and Brook Lopez. And it's your pick, Kevin.
Yeah, I really needed a center, and that just went away. But I would say, look at the board and what we just talked about. Jamal's going to be out. Anthony Edwards is still there. Mikal Bridges is there, but I can't pass this guy up because I love this guy to death. And he was my rookie number one guy coming out of the draft. Jalen Green's got to Jalen Green.
Yep.
Because I think he's going to score a ton this year. And that team is going to be bad. Him and Christian Wood and all those guys are just going to be putting up points. And I think that's a sneaky guy. So I feel like the 7th, 8th, 9th round, is that good for rookies then? Is that so fair? It's not like a reach?
Yeah. Especially for Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, and Jalen Suggs. You want those guys who are on bad teams getting a lot of usage. So that's a great spot for Jalen Green.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jalen and just hope that, hey, he's going to have that and he's going to get that usage rate that you like to see. And he's a sneaky good shooter. Like people, we did a breakdown on him on Triple Play. Everybody saw it. And I love Jalen and coaching against him. I got a little soft spot for my heart for that guy. Mikal Bridges came next. Murray, Edwards, Grant, Hardaway, LeVert. It's a lot of guards coming off there.
Yep.
Now you could really go either way. I like Evan Mobley, but again, I kind of worry about rookies at the center position. I do get worried about that one, but I can't draft Hassan Whiteside because if I draft Hassan Whiteside, he's not the pick for me.
No, he's another center,
Backup center. Another sneaky pick right here, though, is I think Kevin Porter, especially with that dude. But I already picked Jalen Green, so I mean, to me, it comes down to I love Clay. Clay is coming back. We know kind of what Clay's there. He's going to be on a pitch count, just depending on that ankle there. As far as the centers go, man, it gets a little rough out here, right?
Yeah, it's very rough. Yeah, like you said, Mobley, Whiteside, Aldridge, which we're not going to draft Aldridge. He's not going to be. No. Mitchell Robinson, he could be a good pick, but probably later. Kevin Love, Steven Adams. Yeah, Steven Adams could be a sneaky pick, but you could probably wait another round probably. So I don't know, man. That's tough. Yeah, they dried up quick, which is why I want to stack up on centers.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're doing it, right? Like, so everybody out there, I mean, if you're looking at what you have to do, you got to understand where the centers go. That's why we're doing a mock draft so you can see it. Really, realistically, I would have wanted one of those. Not Brook Lopez, but I would have took Allen, Harrell, or Carter in the last round, but they weren't there. So now I'm just going to punt it. I'm going to punt the center position. I'm just going to take the guy that I like and that I think that could have a very good year. Especially just based on his uses and everything there. I'm just going to check real quick because I don't want to miss LaMelo Ball again like I did, like an idiot. All right, so LaMelo's not there, obviously. I'm going to grab? I'm going to grab Tyrese Halliburton.
I like that pick. Yeah, man. I was hoping that he would drop to me. That's a great pick.
Yeah, he's not, as a Kings fan, he's not coming back to you. So, yeah, I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton. Then Clay went, Porter, Suggs, Johnson. I think it's a little early for Johnson, honestly. Aldridge, Barrett, and Robinson. So 2 Knicks right there. So where are you going now?
So I do see the Keldon Johnson love just because DeRozan is gone and they're going to need some more
fair.
playmakers. But that's why I got DeJounte Murray earlier. So, I got Giannis, Sabonis, Zion, Christian Wood. And then I went 3 guards in a row: DeJounte Murray, LaMelo Ball, and Cade Cunningham. So, I'm really just looking for maybe a shooting guard, a small forward, a center, just probably the best player available, but keeping that in mind. I I really like my boy is still on the board, and I'm going for him. Spencer Dinwiddie, guys. All right,
Okay.
he was signed by the Washington Wizards just recently, and he is the starting point guard in Washington. All right, with no Russell Westbrook. All right, it's Spencer Dinwiddie and Bradley Beal. And Dinwiddie, if you guys remember, 2 years back, he had a career year. Like, he went off for the Brooklyn Nets. All right, and then he tore his ACL. All right, so now he's back. He is on a wasteland team in the Wizards, playing with Beal and Kuzma and Harrell. Like, he has a lot of opportunity, and he is the point guard there. So he's going to have a lot of usage. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. So Dinwiddie, guys, keep him in mind in the middle to late rounds in your draft. So I just got 4 guards in a row, and I'm feeling really good about my big men and guards here. So I'm just going to look at what's available. I see Darius Garland could get a bunch of usage this year. Oladipo, I don't trust with that injury. John Wall, I don't even know if he's going to start the season. TJ Warren is not starting the season. I'm going to go with Steven Adams here. I think that he has quiet upside here on this Grizzlies team. All right, it's Steven Adams, and then it's Jaren Jackson and Kyle Anderson and Ja. I think that Steven Adams can put up quiet big man stats. He's going to be that consistent dude leading this young Grizzlies team. He's probably like the only vet on that team other than Kyle Anderson. So I'm going to go Steven Adams here as like a sleeper pick. And then right after went Darius Garland, which is a great pick. And then Brandon Clark, Kevin Love, Victor Oladipo, Evan Mobley, Jordan Clarkson, TJ Warren. And then back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, and so back to me. I'm gonna, when you're looking at kind of how the roster shakes out and how everything kind of looks here, I'm gonna take a guy that I think could. There's 2 guys now that I really want at the center position, and I think that they're 2 sleeper guys. So Isaiah Stewart from Detroit, I think he's going to be the starting center down there, and then Kelly Olynyk also. Like, both of those dudes are sneaky kind of plays, and it's kind of like, what do you expect from each one? I like. And again, I'm not reaching on center, but I'm taking a center based on production. Now, Robert Williams is another option. I kind of like Robert, but
yeah, man, he's a blocking machine.
He's a blocking machine. And so, like, when you're looking at kind of what these guys will do, I'm going to go with the upside with Stewart, young team.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham. Okay. Can he get those uses that you see? I like Kelly, but I'm not willing to draft him as the guy because he's not the starter yet. I think he will get minutes though. Probably. Right. I could realistically see Kelly Olynyk getting 26 minutes a game, probably somewhere in there. Easily. So I'm going to take Isaiah Stewart though, just based on that upside and just based on, I think that he'll get a little bit more run.
I like that.
I should just take Kelly Olynyk now. But Whiteside, Bridges, Bagley. Don't take Bagley. Everybody out there, do not take Bagley. Williams, Bogdanovich, Rubio. I'm sorry. I'm a hater, but Bagley should have never drafted him. All right. Man. So, God, we're coming back to this. What?
I was a Marvin Bagley truther for years. And I never gave up on him. And then last year I gave up on him. I was like, okay, I'm done defending this guy. Like, he was so good at Duke. He was a beast, man. I loved watching him play. And then he's just hurt, always hurt. So you just can't trust, man. Best ability is availability. And he doesn't.
I'm a Kings fan. One of my assistant coaches at the time, a friend of mine, Gonzalo, he was a Bulls fan, but he was a Duke fan with me. So we were both Dukes fans. And he's like, hey, the Kings have to take Bagley. Bagley's going to be a monster, superstar. And I was touting some kid named Luka that he never heard of. I said, no, we need to take Luka Doncic. He's a legit player playing overseas. And I still don't ever let him live this down. He always laughs at me because, like I said, you got to take Luka. What are we doing here? And it ends up, so that was my one great call out there. But yeah, I'm Bagley. I'm out. I'm out on Bagley. I'm out there. Now, next pick here, I'm looking at it. I'm going to take Bogdanovich from Atlanta. I think score going to be a put up numbers you saw last year. Free throw percentage, his threes, everything's there. I'm taking Bogdan in there, just kind of sure up that my shooting guard and point guard.
Yeah, he came on at the end of last year. I mean, he single-handedly
Yeah.
carried the Atlanta Hawks to the playoffs when Young was dealing with that injury. So he is a fantastic pick there, Kevin.
All right. So we are after that. I'll kind of have him. I'll filibuster while he figures it out. Griffin goes next. Evan Fournier, John Wall, Rose, Conley, Washington, who I sneaky like Washington as well, and
Yeah.
then Beasley. So who you taking in the 10th?
All right. So I am looking down this list, and I'm not liking anyone except for Kyle Kuzma, just for that upside pick. I wanted to talk about him too, just for a quick second, Kevin. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when all these young studs on the Los Angeles Lakers get out of the thumb of LeBron James? They turn into studs. All right. It happened with D'Angelo Russell. All right. He went to the Nets and just became a stud that year. And then it was Brandon Ingram. He went to the Pelicans, became a stud. Lonzo Ball, he didn't really become a stud, but he was just like a solid player. You know, and now he's on the Bulls and he's still only 23 years old. My gosh, it feels like Lonzo Ball's been in the league forever. And then the latest was Julius Randle. All right. He no longer under the thumb of LeBron James, and now he went to his first All-Star game with the New York Knicks. So I don't think that Kyle Kuzma is on their level, but he has a lot more usage coming his way. And when LeBron James was out, or Kyle Kuzma's career stats when LeBron James is out is over 16 points scored, about 6 or 7 rebounds, and about 3 assists. And that's great in a points league if he can keep up that average with Beal and Dinwiddie and Harrell, which he's going to get a lot more usage. He's going to get a lot more playing time. All right. So I like him here just as like an upside late round sleeper pick. So keep him in mind. And then next, you know what? I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to go with Norman Powell. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes here in Toronto with no Lowry, and Siakam's injured, and Toronto was just injured all last year, and they're carrying it over into this year. And Powell is extremely healthy. He is a shooting guard, a small forward, and a point guard. So there's a lot of versatility there. So I'm going to go with Norman Powell here.
I like Norman. He's versatile. Harrison Barnes goes next. Robinson, Schroeder, Anthony, Boucher, White, Bledsoe. And you know what? I'm going to go with my guy Dylan Brooks. I was going to pick him anyway.
I like that, man. That was my second choice.
He's a defense, and you know what? I argue with these guys in the pod because, casual guys like David who don't know basketball, they see Dylan and they think he's just inefficient. Dylan is one of the best defensive players in the league. He can play, and he'll get steals, he'll get tips, he'll get those areas in there, and he can score. He can put it on that team. So I'm gonna take Dylan in the 11th round. We're almost through this thing. After that, it was Olynyk, who I like. I like that pick there where it's at. Horford, Barnes, Podol. Hajimura is okay. Okoro is okay. And you really get into the guys now like, hey, can you take upside picks? And to me, this is an upside pick. I'm taking our guy James Wiseman.
Nice. That was going to be my pick. That's good.
I got to take Wiseman just because of that center position. Yeah. I really need a center. And if Wiseman can break out this year and just show that he can kind of do the little things that they're asking him to do, I think he can put up some solid points for you.
Yeah, man. He's one of those unicorn players who can block and shoot threes. So if he can actually put it together this year, that would be a fantastic late round pick.
All right. After that, Ibaka, Harris, Ross, Gallinari, Bertans, Isaac, Reddish. I like Cam Reddish. Shout out to Cam Reddish. I like him. I think that he could be a value in some leagues, especially this late. You might as well take a shot on him. All right. Where are you going with this one?
All right. So a few picks here. It's either Kevin Huerter or Jordan Poole, who is going to be starting for the Warriors until Klay Thompson can get his legs underneath him, which there is no targeted date. So Poole can be a viable option for you for a good amount of the season. So I'm going to go with Jordan Poole here, shooting guard and point guard. And then I'm going to go to Kevin Huerter of the Atlanta Hawks. I think that he's going to have a sizable role with Atlanta alongside Trae Young, and he's very versatile. He's at shooting guard, forward, and a point guard. So I'll go with Kevin Huerter here. And then after Jordan Poole and Kevin Huerter, there's Daniel Tyus, DeAndre Jordan, Goran Dragic, Jay Crowder, Ingles, Kobe White, and Will Barton.
Yeah, I just got sniped. I got sniped by the computer. I wanted Barton. I think Barton's
Yeah,
gonna have a
Barton,
good
huh?
year.
Okay.
I wanted Barton. I want to have, that Will Barton kid. I think that I like. I think he's a solid player.
Good.
I do like him there, and like what he's able to do. After this, it gets a little, it gets a little dry out here. I'm gonna. Well, there's a guy that I'm targeting later, so I don't want to. I don't want to give that away. But you
Ooh.
have these. You're looking at Zubek, Lance, Nuns out there, Reggie Jackson, Nikhil Alexander. What's your opinion of Nikhil Alexander?
I like him a lot. He showed immense potential when he actually started for Ingram, for whoever was hurt. So I actually like him in the last 2 rounds of the draft. In the last 3 rounds of the draft, I take a flyer on him.
Yeah, no, you're correct. I'm not gonna take a flyer on him, but I do like him. Like I don't think he at this point he's the guy for me. Just to grab. I like Darius Bazley though. I don't know what your opinion is on Darius.
I like him too. He's really good in a points league. He's a very inefficient person, but he gets those stats, points, rebounds, and stuff like that. So I like him this late.
Yeah, I'm taking him just because of that. And sleeper, he can play shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. So he can kind of give you that versatility that you went there. Alexander went next, which I figured he would. Lance, Jackson, Giddy. Interesting. Giddy's one of those guys. I feel like Oklahoma's got a sea of just people.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, which one's going to break out at what game?
Right.
And where does it come from? That's kind of that's my feeling on Oklahoma City. They're gonna be bad, by the way. Everybody out there, they're gonna be pretty
Absolutely.
bad. Just so you know. Now after that, it gets a little, as we've been going through and kind of looking at the rosters and everything there. A guy that I'm gonna go after this late, to be completely honest with you, is Mo Bamba. I'm still in the Mo Bamba train.
Okay.
And maybe break out, maybe value. You can get him a little later, get those rebounds, maybe a double-double. So I'm going to take our guy Mo Bamba.
Especially those blocks, man.
Yes.
Underrated blocks right there. And he could steal some minutes from Wendell Carter. Like Wendell Carter isn't locked into the starting role. Now, he could be, but not if Bamba has anything, anything to say about it. And in the second to last round, to absolutely take Bamba.
Might as well. Might as well take a shot at him. All right, what do you got going on? Last 2 picks here.
All right, so I was sniped out. I was going to take Dort of OKC. I think he has a lot of usage coming his way on a wasteland OKC team. And then Gary Trent was another guy that, he is very versatile. Sleeper has him available at every single position except for center, and he's going to get a lot of usage this year too. So, I'm just going to take the best player available in my opinion. And I'm looking down this list. And I'm looking at the Detroit Pistons point guard, shooting guard, Killian Hayes, who was their first round pick last year. But he dealt with a lot of injuries, but he was healthy towards the end of last season and showed out pretty well. So, if I can get, the first round pick from last year, who has been in the system for 1 year, he's going to play alongside Cade. Who is already on my team. I'm going to go with Killian Hayes here and just go for the upside. So let me draft Killian, and then I'm looking. Oh man. It's slim pickings over here, but it is the last round, and I went deep here, and I see that Monte Morris is available, and Jamal Murray has no target date. All right. So Monte Morris has a lot of usage coming his way. I know that Jokic is there and, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., but Monte Morris is going to be that solid, consistent dude at the end of your bench. All right. If he can get me anywhere from 15 to 20 points, I'm happy. So I'm going to go with Monte Morris here to end my draft.
Nice. And Cole Anthony, Seth Curry is always good. Plumlee, Fultz, Zubek is there, Caruso. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with the next Jamal Crawford, and I am going to be taking. And I gotta find him now because I just said that he's the next Jamal Crawford. James Bouknight. James Bouknight from Charlotte, the rookie. James can flat out score, and I'm just gonna let everybody guys know this dude don't play any defense. So don't worry about defense. But I think he can put up numbers, and as a late round pick, I don't mind this, especially with Rozier. Let's say Rozier gets hurt, I have Bouknight there, and I can kind of plug and play him. But I think Bouknight is going to be good this year, and he's going to be able to score.
I like that, man. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Well, that's our draft. Let's take a look. Let's look at your team. Why don't you go through your team and just kind of, you don't have to name everybody, but just best picks, worst picks, maybe reaches. What do you like? You have a pretty solid team. It's like you've done this before.
I appreciate that. Once or twice, I got Giannis, Sabonis, and Zion, and Christian Wood. I love it. And then I just love my run at guard here with Murray and LaMelo Ball and Cade and Spencer Dinwiddie, and then just filling up your team with those consistent guys who get minutes, because in a points league, you want those guys who that are either starting or who are getting a ton of minutes off the bench. So
yeah,
just go for those high volume guys when it gets to the later rounds. But yeah, man, I like my team a lot. I don't see much reaches here. I know that people will probably say, "Oh, you should have picked Jokic first." Well, I'm just a Greek freak guy. All right, that is my preference. I want that high upside every single game. So I'm a Greek freak guy.
All right. No, I think you had a good draft, and looking at mine, to be honest, I like some of my picks. I wish I wouldn't have went a little bit high on it. Isaiah Stewart maybe a little early. I would have definitely taken LaMelo over Rozier.
Yeah.
So just know that if I would have saw that, I thought for sure he was gone. After I looked, I'm like, I'm an idiot. I would have taken LaMelo there. So just know that. But I do think that some guys that I really like, Jalen Green, I think is good. And I think that he can score this year. Bogdanovich, I think in the 10th is good. I love Dylan Brooks. I do think he's a value as well. But, overall, I think this is good. But we know guys that we're not going to take. Irving, stay away from him.
Yes.
One of my, Porter, probably going to get overdrafted. I like Randall in the 4th. I think that's a good value there. Porzingis, that I think could be a breakout this year. I like Lauri Markkanen also. I just don't know how much he's going to play in Cleveland. It's a weird fit there in Cleveland with the drafts and everything they had there. But overall, this is kind of where you had. And I think the biggest thing I've found in basketball, especially fantasy basketball, you just have to stay really, really on the waivers and really, really on your team. It's not like football. It's not, you can't just plug and play and you're done.
Yes. It's a marathon, guys, not a sprint. All right. And don't forget about Spencer Dinwiddie. All right. Former Colorado Buffalo. All right. Don't forget him in around the 8th to 9th round. All right. He's going to ball out this year. Trust me.
All right. Well, cool. Well, hey, this is our triple play mock NBA thing. Do you have any other tips for these guys?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just center your draft around big men, who can score, who can rebound, who can block, who don't kill your free throw percentage. Don't let that be a huge factor, but just get those valuable big men because they contribute in every single category. So in the 9 cats, guys, target those elite big men and then worry about the point guards and guards later, because there's a lot of value to be had later. That's all I got to say.
So basically, Jacob just told you to do the exact opposite of what I did. So if you're watching out there, do the opposite of what I did. But again, go at it. Good luck this season. Always follow us and I definitely follow Jacob. Make sure you ask him basketball questions and who to start, where to go there. So I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.